So we want to determine the derivative of y equals 6 over x to the fifth minus 12 over x plus 0.75. So I'm going to go ahead and write that out. Y equals 6 over x to the fifth minus 12 over x plus 0.75. Now, to take the derivative, we'd like to have the original equation in power notation. So let's write this in power notation. How would we do that? Well, what is 6 divided by x to the fifth? That's 6 times x to the negative fifth power. And what about minus 12 over x? Well, that's minus 12 times x to the minus 1 power. And then we have that 0.75 at the end. Now we're ready to take the derivative using the power rule on each term. So our derivative is going to be, well, we have the derivative of 6 times x to the negative fifth. We multiply that negative 5 times 6, that gives us negative 30. And then we have x to the negative 5 minus 1, which is negative 6 power. Now what about here when we take the derivative of negative 12 times x to the negative 1 power? Well, we multiply the negative 1 times the negative 12, that gives us a positive 12, and then we have x to the minus 1, or minus 2 power. And now we look at what is the derivative of 0.75. Well, that's just a constant. It doesn't depend on x, right? So the derivative of that with respect to x is just 0. Now we look up here, but we don't see our answer because these answers are not written in power notation. So let's rewrite our answer. Let's see, how do we write negative 30 times x to the negative 6 power? Well, that would be negative 30 divided by x to the 6th. Since this minus sign here just means 1 over. And same thing here, when we have 12 times x to the minus 2 power, this means just 1 over, so that's going to be 12 over x squared. So now we look at the answers to see which one is the correct one. And here we have y, the derivative y prime, is minus 30 over x to the 6th plus 12 over x squared. So this would be our correct answer.